Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my series reading Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. Without further ado, returning to Oliver Twist as read by Lord Naren White. There was a pause during which Rose, who had covered her face with one hand, gave free vent to her tears. Harry still retained the other. "And your reasons, Rose?" he said, at length, in a low voice. "Your reasons for this decision?" "You have a right to know them," rejoined Rose. "You can say nothing to alter my resolution. It is a duty that I must perform. I owe it alike to others and to myself." "To yourself?" "Yes, Harry, I owe it to myself that I, a friendless and portionless girl, with a blight upon my name, should not give your friends reason to suspect that I had sordidly yielded to your first passion, and fastened myself a clog on all your hopes and projects. I owe it to you and yours to prevent you from opposing, in the warmth of your generous nature, this great obstacle to your progress in the world. If your inclinations chime with your sense of duty," Harry began. "They do not," replied Rose, coloring deeply. "Then you return my love?" said Harry. "Say but that, dear Rose. Say but that, and soften the bitterness of this hard disappointment." "If I could have done so, without doing heavy wrong to him I loved," rejoined Rose, "I could have received this declaration very differently," said Harry. "Do not conceal that from me, at least, Rose." "I could," said Rose. "Stay," she added, disengaging her hand. "Why should we prolong this painful interview? Most painful to me, and yet productive of lasting happiness notwithstanding, for it will be happiness to know that I once held the high place in your regard which I now occupy, and every triumph you achieve in life will animate me with new fortitude and firmness. Farewell, Harry. As we have met today, we meet no more, but in other relations than those in which this conversation have placed us, we may be long and happily entwined, and may every blessing that the prayers of a true and earnest heart can call down from the source of all truth and sincerity cheer and prosper you." "Another word, Rose," said Harry. Your reason in your own words, from your own lips. Let me hear it." "The prospect before you," answered Rose firmly, "is a brilliant one. All the honors to which great talents and powerful connections can help men in public life are in store for you. But those connections are proud, and I will neither mingle with such as may hold in scorn the mother who gave me life, nor bring disgrace or failure on the son of her who has so well supplied that mother's place. In a word," said the young lady, turning away, as her temporary firmness forsook her, "there is a stain upon my name, which the world visits on innocent heads. I will carry it into no blood but my own, and the reproach shall rest alone on me." "One more word, Rose, dearest Rose, one more," cried Harry, throwing himself before her. "If I had been less fortunate, the world would call it, if some obscure and peaceful life had been my destiny, if I had been poor, sick, helpless, would you have turned from me then? Or has my probable advancement to riches and honor given this scrupule birth?" "Do not press me to reply," answered Rose. "The question does not arise and never will. It is unfair, almost unkind to urge it." "If your answer be what I almost dare to hope it is," retorted Harry, "it will shed a gleam of happiness upon my lonely way, and light the path before me. It is not an idle thing to do so much, by the utterance of a few brief words, for one who loves you beyond all else. O Rose, in the name of my ardent and enduring attachment, in the name of all I have suffered from you, and all you doom me to undergo, answer me this one question. Then, if your lot had been differently cast, rejoined Rose, if you had been even a little, but not so far above me, if I could have been a help and comfort to you in any humble scene of peace and retirement, and not a blot and drawback in ambitious and distinguished crowds, I should have been spared this trial. I have every reason to be happy, very happy now, but then, Harry, I own I should have been happier. Busy recollections of old hopes, cherished as a girl, long ago, crowded into the mind of Rose while making this avowal, but they brought tears with them, as old hopes will when they come back withered, and they relieved her. I cannot help this weakness, and it makes my purpose stronger, said Rose, extending her hand. I must leave you now, indeed. I ask one promise, said Harry. Once and only once more. Say within a year, but it may be much sooner. I may speak to you again on this subject for the last time. Not to press me to alter my right determination, replied Rose, with a melancholy smile. It will be useless. No, said Harry, to hear you repeat it, if you will finally repeat it. I will lay at your feet whatever of station, of fortune I may possess, and if you still adhere to your present resolution, will not seek, by word or act, to change it. And let it be so, rejoined Rose. It is but one pang the more, and by that time I may be enabled to bear it better. She extended her hand again, but the young man caught her to his bosom, and imprinting one kiss on her beautiful forehead, hurried from the room. Chapter 36 is a very short one, and may appear of no great importance in its place, but it should be read notwithstanding, as a sequel to the last, and a key to one that will follow when its time arrives. And so you are resolved to be my traveling companion this morning, eh? Said the doctor, as Harry Maylie joined him and Oliver at the breakfast table. Why? Are you not in the same mind or intention? Two half hours together. You will tell me a different tale one of these days, said Harry, colouring without any perceptible reason. I hope I may have good cause to do so, replied Mr. Losberne, though I confess I don't think I shall. But yesterday morning you had made up your mind in a great hurry to stay here, and to accompany your mother like a dutiful son to the seaside. Before noon, you announced that you are going to do me the honour of accompanying me as far as I go. On your road to London, and at night, you urge me, with great mystery, to start before the ladies are stirring, the consequence of which is, that young Oliver here is pinned down to his breakfast, when he ought to be ranging the meadows after botanical phenomena of all kinds. Too bad, isn't it, Oliver? I should have been very sorry not to have you at home. Have been at home when you and Mr. Maylie went away, sir, rejoined Oliver. That's a fine fellow, said the doctor. You shall come and see me when you return. But to speak seriously, Harry, has any communication from the great Knobs produced this sudden anxiety on your part to be gone? The great Knobs, replied Harry, under which designation I presume you include my most stately uncle, have not communicated with me at all since I have been here, nor at this time of the year it is likely that anything would occur to render necessary my immediate attendance among them. And we'll go ahead and stop there for this week. As usual, I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.